Okay, a very good evening to all, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is Tuesday class. Today the date is 31st of March 2020. So we are starting our second phase of MCO. So I believe most of you have read Vincent's uh, sharing. That one is not fake news. That one is something that really happened to his friend. So don't simply go out even for exercise or jogging or whatever. So they mean business. They are going to charge all these people. So be careful. So try your very best to stay at home. Stay safe and you will be safe. And when you are safe, other people will be safe too. Okay, let us prepare for puja. Compose our mind, develop the sattva, virya, and mindfully we shall commence the puja chanting. Arahang sama sambuddho bhagava Buddhang bhagavantang abhivademi Swakato bhagavata dhammo dhammang namasami Supatipano bhagavato sāvaka sangho sanghang namami Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa Buddhang saranang gacchami Dhammang saranang gacchami Sanghang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchami Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccācara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majapamadatana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let's pay respect to the Mahayana great beings too. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 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 观世音菩萨。Namo 观世音菩萨。Namo 观世音菩萨。南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨， Namo Tizangwang Pusa. Namo Tizangwang Pusa. Namo For Pusa. Namo For Pusa. Namo For Pusa. And he will rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Then we will pay respect to Triple J with Pucheni. Damang Pucheni. Sanghang Pucheni. Okay. So you can be seated. Just relax yourself, body and mind, and maintain some more attention. Then we can start our sharing today. Like I told Sui, she has put it in the notice. We will share the outline short note Tuesday class. There are two. We start with the 17th. The one on the 17th. 10 one also can. 10 or 17 also can. 10. Okay. We will start with number 10. Okay. Okay. Like that bigger. Okay. Now can read already. Okay. So this 10 of March 2020 Tuesday class outline short notes is quite good. So maybe after we go through, many of you can recall. So the book reference for the first part is the Heart Sutta short notes. Heart Sutta short notes. Okay. As long as I can read. Second edition dated 8th of March 2020. Announcement of this year's Cameron Highland Annual Retreat postponement, likely to be on July 2020. After receiving a very nicely and respectfully worded advice from the Sampo Temple's Tangxia as to their Sangha's concern regarding the recent spread of COVID-19 situation. So out of respect and understanding, Bretio immediately conformed and agreed to the postponement as we are using their way place to hold our retreat. If we can perceive every situation or event that arises without any negativity or mind state, then we can be at peace to confront them with understanding instead of panicking and allowing the fear, worry, and anxiety to affect and at times paralyze us. This can only be done if we have the wisdom to understand the causes and conditions behind, then accord and flow with circumstances to whatever that unfold or arise after that. So this one is mainly because I think many Kayanamita, especially the young people, the new Kayanamita, a lot of them were looking forward to this retreat. And this retreat is supposed to benefit them tremendously, even the older people, because like I used to share last year and the beginning of this year, the Kayamita consciousness has shifted and many things has happened. Then our second edition of this Heart Sutta is very nicely done up. There's a lot of very good improvement and information that can allow us to share beautifully. So because of that, when it was announced that we may have to postpone, I think many Kayamita were worried. And at the same time, there are some Kayamita who are still worried about COVID-19. So some of them text to me and wrote to me their concern and all those things. I said, you should actually make full use of this crisis or COVID-19 crisis to check your cultivation. If you really have the Dhamma, the cultivation, you will not behave this way. you will behave in a different way with understanding and all those things. That's why I want to explain this. So that day when we were having that sharing before the lockdown, we already knew we had to postpone. That's why we had this discussion. So this is just for info for those who want to have the understanding. You have the Dhamma, you will not worry, you will not panic, you will not do all those things. You will not even have the thought, yeah, why like that? I look forward to the retreat. Ayo, why they postpone it or why they cancel it and all those things. Then if everybody start to complain, then a lot of suffering. Then even the committee members, they just through understanding, accord and flow. That's why they say I have to get the bus cancelled. All those who book, then money refund. But it's okay because you do what you have to do. Then like I share, uh, only 3 or 4 people ask for refund. I think the rest they keep the money there. So this was the condition behind. So we can learn. That's why every phase of life, every situation, every condition is real Dhamma for us to test ourselves, to check our cultivation, to learn. That's why life is our greatest teacher, our best teacher. I always share with you all. And my teacher, Acharya Yantra, also shared with me that he learned a lot from nature, from life. Okay, then we go to note number 3. If we can view it with understanding, then it can turn out to be a blessing in disguise. Just like in this case, it can enable me to teach the Heart Sutta second edition teaching prior to the commencement of the coming annual retreat, so that Kayamita can be ready with the understanding of the teaching before they attend the retreat. So if you perceive it with wholesomeness, you rejoice, because this is really happening. That's why I had shared the last few sharing regarding Heart Sutta second edition and also our unique Dhamma code. So all these are important understanding. And because of some recent question by new Kayanimittas, so I put them onto the WhatsApp for sharing. The new people can learn actually from this sharing. These are, I should say, typical question that they were asked. And you don't blame them because they are still new. They have not been with us for long enough period. And like I used to share with you all, what they learn from elsewhere or other places, you will be very surprised. They didn't really have much understanding of the essential Dhamma of the Buddha. Uh, and they don't really understand what is the meditation as taught by the Buddha, what is sati, what is mindfulness, and what is mind, the 2 aspects of mind, the 5 aggregates of form and mind, and all the other very important essential Dhamma. They don't have much understanding. They thought they are all separate teaching. They cannot link. They don't know how to link. And Noble Eightfold Path is even more difficult for them. What constitutes right view and how it trigger off right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, the 4 right effort. And also samasati and samadhi. So all this you can see clearly from the way they ask and the way they reply. But it's okay, it's good learning because everybody start the same. In fact, most Kayamita that came to me earlier on also, you were so conditioned by that so-called traditional way of teaching because the Buddhist community at that time was like that. So it took me quite a while to actually let you develop the understanding. And now you understand, you look back, you really count your good karma. You really would like to thank your good karma for having received such teaching with such clear understanding and all those things. Mm. So all these are meant to be. That's why I say, if you have the Dhamma, you do things differently. Uh, so if you can view it with understanding, then every situation, no matter how it is, initially it may appear something not so good, but it will turn out to be a blessing in disguise if you can accept the reality of the moment. Like the Buddha said, whatever that arises within the moment or whatever that happens, there are causes and conditions behind. So that is the reality. It has to unfold this way, not other way. So if you want things your way, you suffer. That's why acceptance is very important. Every moment, the reality unfolds. And if you do not have the understanding, you cannot be at peace. You will have suffering. You will react. You will stir your mind. You will develop the duality of emotion and other things. So this is what Dhamma is all about. When you are mindful, aware, silent, you can see them very clearly. Then when you see them, when you can trace the origination factor and understand why the form and mind become like that, then you can straighten your view. You can retrospectively reverse all this through an understanding. Then you reflect, you contemplate. How can I break free and be at peace the next time I confront such situation? How can I straighten my view so that all this habitual tendency can be rooted out? Uh, Because a lot of habitual tendency come about through our heedless thinking, through our conditioning, through our views, opinion, belief system, and conditioning. Sometimes it's because of our tradition, our race, our education background, then what we are subject to, the media, the, the whatever social media information that we receive through the newspaper, and also through certain type of books. So these are all the things that can condition our thinking, can make everyone different. Then your character, since young, since the early days, conditioned by karma, also mold you, and you become what you are. Like the Buddha say, because of your karma, you are born of your karma, heir to your karma, conditioned and supported by your karma, and you are what you are because of karma. So everyone is different. Learn to see that. Learn to accept that. Then you will not argue. Then you can develop the understanding to respect each and every one for the way they are. Then no need to argue. No need to react or stir our mind. Right and wrong is not important. These are relative truth, not ultimate truth. Because right and wrong is relative. Right according to who, they never inquire. That's why it's difficult for people to develop the understanding. Okay, with that, maybe we move on to the second reference book. Second reference book is about the Buddha and his teaching, which is the Green Book. This Green Book later on, you can see on the photo, the small thing there. Yeah, by Venerable Narada. So we are at chapter 44 at that time, The Problem of Life, page 659. The author suggested the following self-knowledge inquiries. What is this human being all about? Is it really you or me? Who am I? What am I? What am I doing on this planet Earth? I'm so insignificant. The universe is so immense, still expanding with no end in sight. Every star is a potential sun like ours. So you have inquired into all this, like what I did when I was 17 years old, then you know you are gifted. You have your past. So point number two, I say Brother Theo shared his experience of such inquiry and searching when he was young at the age of 17. So you want to know more, you go and listen to that particular audio file. And point number three, understanding the first noble truths, eight reality of human life, the reality of life and existence are very important. And they are the reality surrounding birth, old age, sickness, and death. These are the first four. So aging is growing old with deterioration of physical and mental function, and getting sick or be diseased is involving our physical and mental. So sometimes disease not only physical, it condition mental. That's why nowadays even young people got mental problem, mental sickness. Uh, they got all this depression or what they call psychiatric type of problem. Uh, they need to see psychologists and psychiatrists. So mental problem is quite common nowadays because society has become more complex, more complicated, and a lot of information flooding the youth. And life has also become more fast moving, very, very complicated. Even relationship also has changed dramatically. And the way we go about doing things also because of technology, AI has changed so much. We become obsolete very fast. So you cannot cope with life, you cannot cope with changes, with situation, you will suffer. So this first four is more towards life itself. For older people, maybe young people, they doesn't really pay much attention to this. But now with COVID-19, everybody is conscious of disease and sickness. Just one miserable virus can cause so much havoc to the world. Have you ever thought of that? It reminds me of this thing. Our human mind, when I developed the understanding of the Dhamma, I came out with this understanding. I have so many depressed people come out of it. I used to tell them, I say, it's only a thought. And this thought is a tool for you to use. It serves you. It's like a servant to you. But how come you can have such delusion to allow such thought to have such power to make you so miserable, so depressed, so unhappy, full of sorrow, lamentation, and sadness, and all those things? It's only a thought, true or not? Then how come it has such power? Who gave that thought such power? So in a similar way, you look at COVID-19, it's only a virus, isn't it? But because we don't understand this virus, we take things for granted. That's why the way we live our life, we have to change. We have to look at hygiene, cleanliness, and we have to boost our immune system. We cannot have late night, not enough rest, low immune system. Then we have to be very careful with what we breathe in, what we come into contact with, and what we touch. We cannot simply touch now. So you want to really develop all this understanding, there are a lot of things to learn. Even though it's only a virus, it's not easy to handle. Do you realize or not? Because so much of it is unknown. So similar to the Dhamma, it's only a thought. But do you understand how complex that thought is, how cunning that thought is, uh, how it can deceive you, delude you, and climb over your head and take over your life? If you allow thought to live your life, you will have suffering, you will have problems. Because thought is egoic, thought is limited, thought does not want to die. So because thought must not die, he said. Because this thought is if I die, then I cannot control living being. And living being doesn't want the thought to die because to them, without thought, how to live life? They always believe they need thought. Thought is the basis of life. Without thought, there is no life. Uh, but when you meditate, you will come to understand thought is a tool for us to use. So we have to develop wisdom to use it wisely and arise the appropriate right thought. Not to use thought wrongly, uh, to arise all the wrong thought that condition our fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow and lamentation, suffering, misery. And not only we use thought wrongly to harm ourselves, hurt ourselves, but we use it to harm others, hit out at others. When we get angry, we speak harshly, we develop all the motive, the deceitfulness, the cunningness, the anger, the hatred, the envy, the jealousy. All these are very negative emotion, negative thought that condition our evil roots, make us evil, that condition our suffering, our misery. So all of wrong thought has to be understood. Whenever you are miserable, unhappy, not peaceful, the wrong thought is there. And what are wrong thought? Thought that condition your fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, lamentation, insecurity, scars of memory, unhappiness, your selfishness, your emotional negativity, your delusion. So all these are wrong thought. So understanding wrong thought is very important. Then we have to change. We have to tell ourselves the user of thought is very important. If the user of thought don't have wisdom, then thought become deluded, egoic. It will create havoc. But if the user of thought has wisdom, it will not be influenced or affected by thought. It will know how to use thought appropriately. That's why Noble Eightfold Path is about right view leading to right thought. You must not have wrong thought. If you arise wrong thought, you will develop suffering, misery. Because wrong thought are thought that condition all your negative emotion, your evil roots. All of the whole mess of suffering will arise. That is the power of wrong thought. And who gave him such power? Is through delusion, ignorance. That's why we have to understand all this. Then we can actually straighten our view, develop the wisdom, the understanding. Then thought has no power to deceive us and delude us. Then we can use thought to arise the appropriate wholesome thought, right thought, virtuous thought, useful thought, so that we can be a blessing to all, so that it can help us to develop a very good karmic nature. That's why the advice of the Buddha comes from that right view, law of karma. If you want to have good life, you have to take care of karma. And how do we take care of karma? We have to avoid all evil, to purify our mind, develop the wisdom. That is what we do. So spiritually, when you have the understanding, then thought loses its power. Then you can make use of thought in a beautiful way. So likewise for coronavirus is the same. When you understand the inside out of this coronavirus, then you can develop the vaccine to treat the patient. Then coronavirus will not have power over living being. Mm. Then the vaccine can actually help cure many people. Uh, then we learn, uh, we learn that we cannot simply do things. Uh, so if we do certain thing that is in violation against the nature's law, especially if it starts to pollute nature, destroy nature, cause a lot of karmic negativity towards nature, uh, or towards fellow mankind, animals, living beings, or the living things or creature. It will have its nature's law that will hit back, repercussion, in the form of cause and effect, cause and effect. That's why humanity will have to learn through what happened. So every crisis is a good learning curve. It makes them better. It prepare them for future occurrences and other things. So it is in a way, yeah, self-learning. But this is a very expensive and painful way of learning because a lot of people don't understand the extent of its danger, its effect, until it hit and destroy the nation. Uh, it caused so much disruption to life, to the economy, to the way society behave and live. So a lot of things already happening, so we can see them, we can witness them. That's why it's something that we should actually, in a way, uh, consider ourselves lucky that we live in an era where we can see so much things, so much new things that are evolving and unfolding. I call it the golden age. During my this life, I came into this world in the year 1954, after World War II, about 12 years after World War II. And by then, the education system has started to pick up. But in the 50s and the 60s, we are still so backward. But the last 40, 50, or 60 years, we have progressed so much, transformed so radically, until we can see our present civilization unfolding so beautifully. Of course, in between there are a lot of crises too. So the human race is a very unique race, very beautiful in its own unique way. But without wisdom, humanity will fall, mankind will fall. But so far so good, the consciousness always evolved in such a way that humanity learn and came back and restore their glory to be able to have the good life again. So hopefully this COVID-19 can come to pass in another maybe 2 or 3 months time. For us, we should see the result before the end of this month, I think. I think the curve has not shot up. Uh, our numbers has been cut. It doesn't reach the parabolic effect, spiraling effect of new cases. You look at certain country, especially United States. Wow, they really everyday new cases almost 19 to 20,000. No? They shot up to 160 over 1,000 within less than 10 days. It's fantastic. So the way you see is happening, and today I was told about 1,000 deaths in the States. So it's pretty serious, not easy. So many things are unfolding. So hopefully we can learn. These are the realities. So we move on. Number 5, the fifth reality is confronting separation from our loved ones and prized possession. Now this one you have to reflect, contemplate, develop the wisdom. But this one is also part of the 5 daily contemplation. The 4th daily contemplation is this confronting separation. Then the first 4 belong to the first 3 contemplation of the 5 daily contemplation. Then the 5th daily contemplation is about the law of karma. Okay, then we move on. The 6th condition is when we are being with people we don't like or we dislike. So most people cannot take it. They will suffer. They will become afflicted. Who are the people whom we dislike? For the lady who are married, maybe mother-in-law, very obvious. Then for those who are in the career field, you have bosses that are not so friendly. These are the people who you don't like. Then when you are confronted with your superior that take advantage of you, or you have neighbors who are very difficult, and sometimes you can also have bullies who bully you, especially in school. I think children or students, some of them are subject to all this, and they are affected. And also, uh, when you go through life, certain type of people whom you really don't like because they could have abused you. They call it child abuse, or in the office it's called sexual harassment and all those things. So these are the things that will happen. And the next one is when our expectations in life are not met, when we cannot get what we want in life, when things don't go our way. Again, this reality gives rise to a lot of suffering. But you have the Dhamma, all this has no power over you. So the first 7, it can actually summarize to you all of the realities of life and existence. Whatever you do, they are within this 7. Of course, there's number 8. So whatever that is not covered under the first 7, the number 8 will cover. So the Buddha summarized all of the First Noble Truth realities. In short, it is these 5 aggregates of grasping that I call dukkha. So the upadana khandhas, our 5 aggregates of form and mind. As a human being, we have a physical form. That is the form aggregate rupa. Then we have a mind, a consciousness that has the aggregate of feeling, perception, activity of mind, mental states, emotion, and all those things. And finally, we have consciousness. So if you want to understand the 4 aggregate of mind, is very easy. We just have to inquire, what can our mind do? Our mind can feel. That's why there's an aggregate of feeling. Our mind can perceive things. There's an aggregate of perception. Our mind can give rise to mental activity, mental thinking, planning, scheming, mental states, emotion. So all these are sankhara activity, content of consciousness. Then finally, our mind can become conscious. Conscious of what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we tactily feel and think. So combine these 4 aggregate of mind and the physical body. The Buddha said, this human being, so-called human being, is the 5 aggregate of form and mind. And this is the first aspect. That every moment of consciousness, the Buddha said, you have the 4 aggregate of mind. But then the perception aggregate brings the external form into the mind. So every moment of sense experience, whether it's seeing consciousness or hearing consciousness or smell, taste, tactile feel or thought consciousness, the aggregate of form, the external form or the mental form, they will go in through the aggregate of perception. So this mental form together with the 4 mind aggregate from the second aspect of the five aggregates of form and mind. And that is the important one. In meditation, we're supposed to see that. That is what the Buddha referred to under the Paticca Samuppada, dwelling, dependent origination. So you see that, you will understand. Then the final summary, the five grasping aggregate. After you have understood these two aspects of the five aggregate, then you can investigate into it, you put it to test. If I attach to the physical form, do I suffer? You definitely suffer if you have meditated before, or you have reflected and contemplated. Because according to the Buddha, this body is non-self, is made of the four elements. Without knowing, it can never be you. It goes the way of nature. That's why if you attach and cling to this body thinking it's you, and you want this body to be forever young, don't get sick, don't get old, don't die, it's not possible because it is not self, not you. It goes the way of nature. That's why we are told to reflect and contemplate the first three of the five daily contemplation. This body of mine is of the nature to grow old, get sick and die, for it has not gone beyond old age, sickness and death. So this is a very powerful contemplation. When you do that, you will not be deceived by this physical body. If this physical body is non-self, then why do you worry about it getting old, getting sick and die? It's a vehicle and a physical form for you to use. Use it. Like your car, use it. It doesn't belong to you. That's why you want to take care of it, maintain it, then it will last you longer. Uh, but when it is beyond economical repair, why must you go and repair it or lament over it? The car is the car, let it be. So you need to change over to a new car. Change. But you must have the money to buy the new car. But our karmically conditioned physical body is different. We cannot say we want to change, we change. Because we cannot simply change. But if you have good merits, develop good karmic treasury or wholesomeness, you have a lot of this. Then after this physical body has done its part, then you can have a new body in the form of a new rebirth body. So when the new rebirth body comes, you are born of your karma, heir to your karma, conditioned and supported by your karma. And you are what you are because of your karma. And then, depend on your karma, what type of body you're supposed to have, it will appear. So it's like you have a lot of money, you can afford a very nice car, you can have it. But otherwise, you can't even afford a proper car, then you have to walk. They call it the Volkswagen. You walk. So that is the aspect. Then coming to the other aggregates of mind, say you are attached to feeling, attached to what you perceive. You can investigate on it. Attached to your feeling, your emotion, your views, your opinion, your conditioning. You check whether you suffer or not. You wanting your way, you sure suffer. Your attachment is clinging, craving, wanting things your way, which is not nature's way. That you attach to what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think, or whatever you perceive. You can also suffer because attachment leads to suffering, conditioned suffering. Like the Buddha say, this very body also don't belong to us. Then how can we own anything? That is foolish. Only the fools lament. That's why the fools will lament my son, my loved one, my possession, my property, my wealth, my house, and all those things. All this, the Buddha say, only the fools, the foolish one lament, for their very body also don't belong to him. Then whereas house, whereas car, whereas property and possession. So all this, they are all clearly taught in the teaching of the Buddha, essential Dhamma. Then the next 5 daily contemplation is what I have gone through with you. So you go back and read through them. The first 3 is about getting old, getting sick, and die, regarding the physical form. Then number 4 is our loved ones, wealth, property, prized possession, or whatever that we hold on to dearly, will one day separate from us, or us from them when our breath stops. When your breath stops, your identity erased. You cannot own anything. So they will separate from you too. Then number 5 is law of karma. We are all born of our karma, heir to our karma, conditioned and supported by our karma. And we are what we are because of our karma. Then number 5, this is the great law of karma. Then number 5, the 4 elements of the human form. Simplified definition. They are the wind element. In Pali is called Vayu, wind element, denoted by motion and movement. Then we have the earth element of Prithvi, which is solidity, the solid part of our physical body. Then water element or Apo, which is the liquid part, the cohesion part. And finally is the fire element or Tejo. So this one is temperature or heat. Then the next one is number 6. Matter is trapped or unreleased energy, consists of forces which are trapped in a solid state. So according to Einstein's famous equation, E equals to mc squared, meaning energy equals mass times c, the speed of light squared. So that trapped energy is very, very big. That's why c squared. And the speed of light is a very big number, 168,000 miles per second. So you convert it to meter per second, that number is hella big. And you square the number. So just imagine 1 gram of mass, not even 1 kilo, can release so much energy. That's how nuclear energy comes to be. Then number 7, our mind can be both a constructive or destructive, powerful force. That's why it's a double-edged mount too. If the user of thought or the mundane mind is deluded, then mind will become evil or destructive. On the other hand, if it is wise, then mind becomes wholesome and constructive. Hence, the user of thought is most important. So this is to allow you, to enable you to understand Dhammapada verse 1 and 2, the twin verse. 1, Dhammapada verse 1 leads to heedlessness. The untrained mind is heedless. So if you are heedless, you will act, speak, and think with a heedless mind that has the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. Then the Buddha said, if you do that, suffering will follow you. That's why that one will lead to destructive wrong thought. Whereas the second one, if we train our mind, develop heedfulness, then we can act, speak, and think with a wholesome mind, with all the right thought, free of the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. And then happiness will follow you, like the shadow that never leaves you. So this is what the teaching is all about. Your life, you decide how you want to live your life. If you follow Dhammapada verse 1, suffering will follow you. Don't complain. But if you are heedful, mindful, you see the danger in heedlessness, then determine to be heedful. Change over to Dhammapada verse 2. Train your mind, be heedful, ever mindful. To check your mind state. So when you can root out all the negativity, when you are incapable of evil, that's why the Buddha said, avoid all evil, then naturally you are good. That's what Noble Eightfold Path is all about. Right thought leading, right view leading to right thought, right speech, and right action. and right livelihood and the four right effort. Okay, Dhammapada verse 1, I already gone through. Mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arise, everything arise. If one speak, act, think with a wicked or unwholesome mind that has the three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, then suffering will follow one like the wheel that follow the hoof of the cart. Then number 9, the three conditions that are required to sustain life, the karmically conditioned vehicle and tool, the five aggregates of form and mind are a physical body, functional physical body, or we call it the rupa, and a mind or consciousness, the nama aspect. Then number 3, the life force or karmic force that comes from your karmic nature to pump the heart, to give rise to the powers of life. So when these three conditions are there, it will animate the human being into a live, physical human being. And number 10, we are introduced and subject to all kinds of conditioning as we go through our life experiences. We are interaction with the media, society, religion, tradition, education, races, and belief system, etc. And through this accumulation of memory of both good and bad, we evolve our views and opinions of things, belief system, and conditioning to become what we are. Thus, from an initial single simple rebirth consciousness with its karmic imprint, it evolved over the years of existence to become a very complex consciousness with its bundle of memories, views, and conditioning that molds the individual. Now you know who you are. This is the one that I shared with you last time, the very complex consciousness after you die. This one is the random of consciousness that will come out and leave your physical body. But that one is no longer you. It's just the bundle of memories with its views, condition, and all the whatever accumulated memories that is trapped inside. Even your fear, your phobia, your insecurity, your sadness, unhappiness, and whatever you accumulate. That's why that one can still have craving, attachment. That's why it can still develop the craving to stay on in this planet until such time when it loses its craving force and it disperses, then it's gone, no more. But the rebirth consciousness is immediate. Once the death consciousness passes by, it immediately conditions rebirth consciousness. So the initial single, simple rebirth consciousness already move on. That's why the random of consciousness that come out is the remaining. It's no longer what you think you are. But if you are a cultivator, that consciousness can be beautiful. You can make use of it. You can use it to explore many things. If there is condition, I will share you. Okay, number 11. Origin of human species. We are a series of evolution. Example, tracing the source of a river. There is no source per se, as the entire catchment area provides the water. Like the popularly asked question, what comes first, the chicken or the egg comes first? It is not important because everything is dependent, originating, condition arising, nature's condition within the conditioned world. As per the Buddha's teaching, whatever that arises, there are causes and condition behind. So that is the reality, and it can never be otherwise. This is wisdom. If you want things your way, which is not nature's way, or following nature's existing condition, then suffering will follow you when you cannot get what you want. So this one is very easy to understand. So you cultivate this wisdom and understanding, then it can liberate your mind, it can free your mind. And this is very beautiful. Then there is another part which I think I should mention because I remember during that sharing, I did explain a little bit about how the first human being come to this planet. Is I think is also taught in the Tipitaka, one of the series. I don't know which one. Yeah, I heard from Reverend Suwano during the early days. It seems the Buddha gave an explanation of how human beings appear on this planet. It seems it started with a Brahma from the Brahma rhyme that come down to our planet long time ago. I also don't know how long. Maybe you check the Sutra, then they have the date. After that, it seems this Brahma get somehow trapped on our planet because in the Brahma rhyme is the form rhyme. It's not supposed to have this sensuality, but somehow he came down to planet Earth for too long and he get entangled himself with the sensuality. Then he realized he cannot perform the psychic ability to return to the Brahma rhyme. That's how he got trapped in the earthly planet rhyme. So I heard about it through Reverend Suwano. So maybe you all can check that one out. Huh? This is information for you all. Huh? But to me, it's not important because the important is the reality. The reality is condition like that, things will like that. That's it, finished. What for want to know too much? That's why the Buddha said, inconceivable is the beginning of the first thought of ignorance, that condition living being to become what you are now. So no point finding out all these things. Don't go and waste your time. Yes. Even the Sammasambuddha also says it's inconceivable. And you still want to go and find out. You're wasting your time. Anyway, it's your life. You decide. Okay, we go to the next sharing. 17 of March. Okay, so this one is okay. Now the note is shown. Birthday 17 of March, Tuesday class outline shown note. Announcement of class interval due to National Movement Control Order, MCO, starting tomorrow. That's why we had a class on the 17th. That was our last physical class. 18 onward, we were on lockdown. So the announcement was the class will be cancelled until we go online. We will try it out on the 24th of March, which we did. So that was 1 week later. So that was our first Zoom sharing. So again, we touched on the new book, Heart Sutra, Short Note, second edition. Some enhancement and improvement were done, especially to the table of content and appendices. You read the preface and the introduction, it's all explained there. Then page 94, review of the chart with the 4 circles that indicate the first circle as the Buddha nature, second circle as the true mind or the pure awareness. That is the first thing that come out of the Buddha nature or the oneness nature. Then from the pure awareness, it trigger off the mundane mind, which is the third circle. Then the mundane mind created the phenomenal world of external form, the world of consciousness. So we review the chart and I explain to you the meaning. That's why you can develop the understanding of creation starting from the source of the Buddha nature, leading to the arising of the pure awareness or our true nature or true mind, then the mundane mind and the phenomenal world of consciousness and form. So this one, for further detail, you can go and read through yourself. I already explained them, or you can listen to the audio file. Then we also link it to the Trinity triangle. Then page 6 and 7 review the 2 aspects of the 5 aggregate of form and mind and understanding of the content of consciousness. Just now I already done. And the below famous 4 stanza of the Diamond Sutta. This one is very good. This one full of wisdom. 一切有为法，如梦幻泡影，如露亦如电，应作如是观。So the meaning is all are conditioned Dhamma or phenomena imply is not a permanent and changing entity. Where we live in a conditioned world, that's why everything is dependent, originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. That's why they say 一切有为法. Everything within the conditioned world are conditioned Dhamma. Then they are dreamlike. 如梦,梦 is dream. 幻 is illusion. Pao is bubble. And shadow imply unreal, empty, not what you think. So they are dreamlike, just an illusion, bubble, and shadow. So see it clearly in the meditation, the direct seeing, the moment of its arising, sustaining, and passing away. See them clearly and awaken to their universal characteristic. Then you will understand why it's just like a dream. How real is a dream? It's just consciousness, isn't it? That consciousness is just like an illusion, isn't it? Then bubble is just one moment, pop, gone, pop, gone. Then shadow also same. No reality, it keep on following you. Then 以如露亦如电 like a dew and a lightning flash imply impermanent, like a morning dew. When the sun rises, the dew will be gone. That is for phenomena that last longer. But phenomena that are very fast, they are just like a lightning flash because our mind moves very fast. That's why all these phenomena is like a dew and a lightning flash, like we have gone through. The present moment is the only reality. How real can it be? This moment I talk about it, the next moment is gone. That's why the transient nature. The present moment is the highest in life and the only reality, but it is so transient. Split second is day and gone. Split second is day and gone. Arise, pass away, arise, pass away. Moment to moment, life passes by. What are we doing? Contemplate this, reflect on this. You don't have mindfulness. You can never be with the moment. You are heedlessly thinking, planning, worrying, lost in thought. That's why living beings are too busy thinking, planning, and worrying about life. So much so, they never live life. They are never with the moment to experience all of the pristine beauties and wonders of life within the moment. The pure, pristine moment. Then the last one is 应作如是观. One should contemplate them thus to develop the contemplative wisdom. These are very powerful. And when you meditate and you awaken to it, it becomes very penetrative, turning wisdom. So this can allow us to develop great wisdom and understanding of the illusionary world of consciousness and form. That's why you can see beyond form, beyond thought, beyond the conscious mind. Then page 243, Appendix 6A, review the pyramid chart. In Appendix 6A, the Trinity to understand cultivation. This one I have gone through. So you all have to go through it again. It's about the pure awareness, the see, then how you use that pure awareness. One is to create mundane living through the senses, create mundane mind, the thought process. Then the other direction of the triangle is the direct seeing without the direct seeing. This one, this way. The direct seeing without thought, the silent mind, pure sati or pure awareness to develop the wisdom of the understanding. So this wisdom or understanding become your right view. And it also develop what they call yoniso manasikara. Then when the form and mind is connected to the wisdom, then you can live the noble life of enlightened being. Just like this one, the horizontal triangle is for living, to to live the third phase of Dhamma Pativeda, the life of enlightenment. So this one is all very beautiful. And the senses is the five aggregate of form and mind, following Paticca Samuppada. Okay, go back to the notes. Yeah. So after that, there is 6.1, appendix. What is a trained mind? You go and read yourself. And 6.2, what is an untrained mind? Then you can check. You can check whether you have done it correctly or not. Then page 244, review of appendix 6.2, an untrained mind, and 6.3, training the mind. So they are all there. Then page 246 and 247, review of appendix 6.5, important advice to meditator, how to use the silent mind to develop samasati, and the 7 universal mental factors. They are all explained there. Okay, number 3, book reference is the Buddha and his teaching by Venerable Narada, chapter 44, page 663, the problems of mind. According to the Buddha, inconceivable is the beginning of the first thought of ignorance, that condition birth and death. So don't waste time pondering this, as it is inconceivable. Instead, ask yourself, who are you? And when you die, who dies and what dies? And that one is very important. If you meditate, you will understand who are you, and what are you, and when you die, who die and what die. And my teacher always say, you must learn how to die before you die. When you can learn how to die before you die, then you are not afraid of death. Death is nothing. I can even tell you the answer. Death is just separation of the consciousness from the form. Means the three conditions that animate the human being. One of them ceases to be. At least one of them ceases to be. Then the consciousness has to come out. Finish. So when that one separate, you say death. Actually, no one died, nothing died. It's just a separation of the form and the mind. Because the component condition that condition is arising is no longer there. So it ceases to be. When condition arise, it arises. When condition cease to be, it ceases to be. It's just like that. That's why it's dependent originating. Condition arising, causal phenomenon, no reality. Then who are you? What are you? Did you die? Your nature cannot die, understand? But that nature cannot come out and live life. So you need another form of mind, karmically conditional. So if you are still with delusion when you die, there will be a rebirth consciousness, that conditioned rebirth. That's why you come again with a new form of mind. But if you are already enlightened beyond the Arahant shape, then when you die, there is no avijja, no ignorance. It cannot condition rebirth consciousness. Then how do you come? That's why you must have the understanding to come. If you are a bodhisattva, you have taken the bodhisattva way, then you will know how to come. You will know how to arise the causes and conditions for this form of mind to arise through a pure mind, born of love and compassion through your vows. Otherwise, you cannot come. Okay? Then we go on. The Heart Sutta mentioned in true emptiness there is no birth, old age, sickness, and death. No one born, no one die, no one attain. No mark of a self, no mark of Dhamma, and no mark of life or Dhamma. Even the Four Noble Truths cease to exist because it is the unconditioned. All this exists only within the conditioned world, samsara. So this one is easy to understand now. And to live life is to exist through time. So existence is time related, and the whole spectrum of time is made up of the past, present, and the future. Past is already gone, so no longer a reality. Future yet to come, also not a reality. Hence, the only reality is the present moment, the here and the now. And this is the highest in life. But to transcend life, one has to transcend even this present moment to realize the cessation of form and mind, which is Nibbana. Then the next point. The present moment, which is the only reality, is the highest in life, where everything arises and passes away. But this present moment is so transient. The moment you talk about it, it is already dead and gone. So how real can it be? How real can life and existence be? See this clearly, contemplate, reflect, and understand, especially the impermanence and empty nature of existence, so that your wisdom can be very penetrating. Then moment to moment, life passes by. What are you doing? Are you mindful of the moment? If you cannot see this, then you are not meditating because you lack awareness or heedfulness. If you can see this, then you are heedful. When you are heedful, you will come to understand that most heedless beings are too busy heedlessly thinking, planning, and worrying about life. So much so they totally miss out on life. Then the next point, silence your mind and ask yourself the above question. This is a very good way to check your cultivation. Check whether you are ever mindful or not. Check whether your mind is trained or not. The trained mind is heedful, quiet, peaceful, tranquil, and still within, just aware with the wisdom. That is the trained mind. The untrained mind think a lot, heedless. So no point. Huh? Then the next point is to live life, we need to be with the moment without thought, to experience all of the pristine beauty and wonders of life within the moment without thought. There is only an awareness of silence, peace, tranquility, stillness, and clarity. Have you really silenced your mind to experience that? Check. If you have not done that, if you don't have the ability, means your daily mindfulness is still not stable. Means you have yet to develop the real training of the mind. Means your mind is still lacking. The five spiritual faculty is not stable. You have not stabilized your sati or silent mind in the form of meditation. And your daily mindfulness cannot be stable because of that. Then the next point is, for example, drinking a cup of Chinese tea with full awareness without thought is Zazen or Zen meditation. Without thought, there is no fear, no worry, no anxiety, no thinking. Your mind is fully conscious or aware, tranquil and still in pure awareness. That is what the enlightened being's mind is all about. They hardly think. They only think when there is a need to think. Otherwise, they are quiet and peaceful most of the time. They are just silently aware within. The moment you label a thing, example microphone, you are no longer seeing the actual thing, no longer observant. You have tuned off the observation and instead retrieve the concept plus the image of that microphone from your memory. We are seeing through that memory's lens. So this one is the word are coined by my daughter, which is very good. So I use them back. I just rephrase a bit to make it clear. So this one is very good. The direct seeing, the real seeing, when you see things as they are, there is no word, no concept, nothing. You see the reality, the pure awareness, the pure perception of this before the labeling, just as it is. Not even the color and all those things, just as it is. Then you can see things as they are. The pristine beauty, everything is very pristine, like new. You don't go and retrieve from memory, oh, I see this with. No, it's the true mind, the silent mind, just aware of this whole thing, this whole thing. It's so beautiful. And when you can have this ability, I said to you, by then you should awaken already because your mind has hardly any thought. If there is thought, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. Okay, the next one. When you really see things as they are with a silent mind, you are just aware and observing. There is no word, no labeling, and no concept. In this way, you will see truth. You will see the actual thing. You see reality. That's what the teaching is all about. Seeing things as they are. Jnana Dasana, direct knowledge and vision of the reality. Everything that arises within the moment is the reality. Krishnamurti call it what is, the isness of thing, the reality. Because condition like that, things will be like that. And it's just aware. There is no word, no description, nothing. Then Sister Sui added her input via her explanation as follows. The microphone we make up of many constituent parts, and how the meaning of the word or concept microphone arise when the final constituent thing can perform a function. That thing is also keep evolving as technology progresses. Yeah. So the more important part is you must see that they are all dependent originating, means condition arising. All the parts, they must come together. Then they perform a function. Then you give it a name. Then it arises already. So what she say is correct. All the constituent part and how the word come about through the human mind, the mundane mind, the labeling. And then that concept come in. And then you call it microphone. But most people, they are so conditioned by the words and the image, they never look at that thing as it is. That's why they fail to see. Okay, then we move on. The next one. Relative expanded on Sui's above explanation by quoting the block card analogy as taught by the Buddha. The Buddha say when you assemble all the parts together, the block card arises already. The reason why he said it is a condition arising entity, hence impermanent. When you dismantle the parts, then the so-called block card is no more. This allows us to understand that all things are condition arising entity. Without condition, it will cease to be. So externally, the block card is already not so real. Then how do you know it's a block card? You perceive it via your seeing consciousness, isn't it? Through the inverted image that appear in your brain. Externally, it is already not so real because of its condition arising entity. Then when you perceive it through that image in your brain, via memory, concept, labeling, isn't that even more unreal? As I see this clearly, understand this clearly, then you will not cling, you will not attach. Then I ask, then why do you still cling and grasp or attach onto it? It's just an image, not what you think. Uh, Although the solid thing may appear very solid, but that is just condition arising entity. Understand? Like the house, you think very solid. It also come about through all the building material, everything. Then people put them into construction, and the contractor, together with their workers, they actually build them. Then it become like solid. Solid doesn't mean it's real, because the reality is not about the form. That's why form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. Form does not differ from emptiness, and emptiness does not differ from form. Because from emptiness it comes. Everything is dependent originating. Before the form appeared, there was nothing in it, empty. That's why when the form appeared, the form take over the space of the emptiness. But then, they actually reside in the same place. So that's why form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. So you can see it very clearly. And all form are trapped energy. They came from mind consciousness. That's why you will understand. That's why form is unreal. Form is empty. That's why you have to learn to see form, the unreality of form. There are two aspects to the unreality. The first aspect is see the condition arising, dependent originating nature of form. That's why it's not a permanent unchanging entity. Then the second one is how do you know it's a form? You perceive it through the mind, the mundane mind, the image. And how real can the image be? That's why form is unreal. It's only when you can see form and the unreality of form, then only you can see beyond form. Then form fail to have any power over you. Form will not delude you anymore. Then it's like the whole creation, the whole consciousness, the world of form collapse in front of you. Because they lose its power over you. Because you can see very clearly the unreality of form. And once you see beyond form, form loses its power. Uh, form is not real, not what you think. Then the other aspect is form is external manifestation of mind. That one is not easy. That one you must really have the meditative understanding. Then you can see, oh, form actually is external manifestation of mind. Because how do you know it? You know it through the mind. That's why it's external manifestation of mind. When mind manifests, then form arises. Otherwise, form does not arise. Okay, the next one. Everything is not so real or what you think it is. Then when things don't go your way or our way, why do you still grasp onto them? We are wanting things your way, which is not nature's way. When you cannot get what you want, you suffer. And there is pain, misery, sorrow, and lamentation. So this one is very important. If everything is not so real or not what you think, then when things don't go your way, why you still attached? Why you still cling? Why you still become afflicted? That is delusion, isn't it? Because everything is just the way it is. Nature's condition such, it will be such, can't be otherwise. And moreover, it's not real, empty. That's why I used to say, loved one, possession, no reality. That's why in the past I used to tell you, anytime this breath can stop, it will not even have a thought to worry, oh, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, I haven't planned for my children, my future. There is no reality. Like I used to share with you all, you can never deny you were born since your birth until now, that you have lived through this phase of life. I ask you one question. Is there any reality? Of course, you can never deny when it arises, each and every of those moments, they do exist. But is there any reality? It's already dead and gone long time ago, isn't it? That's like the famous Mandarin song, 往事只能回味. I love that song since young. The moment I heard that song, I love that lyrics. It's so beautiful. You can only recall through memory. So how real can it be? Memory. What is memory? So see it clearly. So everything is not what you think. That each and every segment of the life that you come is never you, because it is non-self, empty. Then what reality is there in life and existence? That's why, he no you, he no me. There is nothing. Only the human mind, the consciousness hold on to it, then it arises. There is meaning. But when the mind sees, everything ceases to be. He know you, he know me. That's why in the unconditioned, nothing exists. See this clearly, then nothing can actually bring you suffering or misery or problem. Even this form of mind, anytime it can go and disperse, no problem at all. There is nothing for you to cling, to hold. Even the consciousness is not real. That nature is different. That is our karmic nature, our spiritual nature. It exists within nature. But if you know how to make use of it, you can come beautifully. And you can experience life even though it's only moment to moment. Impermanent, not so real. But there is such thing as life. There is such thing as law of karma. There is such thing as living life, experiencing life to the fullest, living life to the fullest. experiencing all of the pristine beauty and wonders of. You can make use of this form and mind to experience them. It's so beautiful with the Dhamma understanding, with the ultimate understanding. It can be really beautiful. Life can be really meaningful and beautiful. That's why since the year 1989 until now, this form of mind, the mind has been beautiful. Okay, we go on to the last one. As the Buddha's saying goes, my son, my wealth, my possession, all this, only the fools lament, for their very body also don't belong to him, wherein son, and wherein wealth. So this one we have gone through. Okay, good. So we have completed our sharing of the first two. So maybe I will go on to this book to continue a little bit more. Okay, the Buddha and his teaching. We were at page 664. 664.
Teaching is different for the online version.
Oh, online version different.
Which paragraph?
Wait, the problem of life. Okay, somewhere here.
How did man originate?
Yes. Okay, there. How did man originate? Okay. Yes. Wait, yes. Immediately after that. How did man originate? Either there must be a beginning for man, or there cannot be a beginning. I know. Those who belong to the first group, okay, this we have gone through. They believe in the God Almighty and all this thing. Okay, the next page. According to scientific standpoint, man is the direct product of sperm and ovum cells provided by their parents. So scientists were asserting all this, all life from life, maintain that mind and life evolved from the lifeless. But Buddhism is different. According to Buddhism, man is born from the matrix of action. This one is correct. Karma yoni, matrix of action means karma. Parents merely provide man with the material layer. As such, being precedes, the being precedes being. At the moment of conception, it is karma that conditions the initial consciousness. This is the rebirth consciousness, the initial simple consciousness that vitalizes the fetus. It is this invisible karmic energy generated from past birth that produces mental phenomena and the phenomena of life in an already extant physical phenomena to complete the trio that constitute man, means the three conditions that give rise to the living being or the human being. Dealing with the conception of being, the Buddha states, where three are found in combination, there a germ of life is planted. A mother and father come together, but it is not the mother spirit and the being to be born. Gandhabha, is not present, then no germ of life is planted. If mother and father come together and the mother spirit, but the being to be born is not present, then again no germ of plant is planted. If mother and father come together and it is the mother spirit and the being to be born is also present, then by the combination of these three, the germ of life is therefore planted. That's what we call conceive. Conceive. Here, Gandhabha refers to a suitable being ready to be born into that particular womb. The term is used only in this particular connection and must not be mistaken for a permanent soul. That's why under Buddhism, there is no such thing as a permanent soul. For a being to be born, here, a being must die somewhere. This one is for ordinary deluded living being, not enlightened yet. The birth of a being corresponds to the death of a being in the past life. Just as in conventional terms, the rising of the sun in one place means the setting of the sun in another place. The Buddha states, a first beginning of beings who obstructed by ignorance and fettered by craving wanders and fare on is not to be perceived. It's the same as inconceivable is the first thought of ignorance that we have gone through. This life stream flow ad infinitum as long as it is fed with muddy water of ignorance and craving. When these two are completely cut off, then only does the life stream cease to flow. Rebirth ends as a result, as in the case of the Buddha and the Arahant. An ultimate beginning of this life stream cannot be determined at a stage, cannot be perceived when this life force was not fraught with ignorance and craving. The Buddha has here referred merely to the beginning of life stream of living being. It is left to scientists to speculate on the origin and the evolution of the universe. Whither is our third question. Where goes man? According to ancient materialism, which in Pali and Sanskrit is known as Lokayata, man is annihilated after death, leaving behind him any force generated by him. Man is composed of four elements. When man dies, the earth element returns and relapses into earth, water element to water, fire element to fire, the wind element to wind. The senses pass into space, wise and fools alike. When the body dissolves, are cut off, perish, does not exist any longer. There is no other world. Death is the end of all. This present world alone is real. The so-called eternal heaven and hell are the invention of imposter, according to the author. Materialists believe only in what is cognizable by the senses. As such, matter alone is real, the ultimate principle of the four elements: earth element, water, fire, and wind element. The self-conscious life mysteriously springs forth from them, just as a genie makes his appearance when Aladdin rubs his lamp. The brain secretes thought, just as the liver secretes bile. In the view of materialists, the belief in the other world, as Sri Radhakrishna state, is the sign of mendaciousness, feminism, weakness, cowardice, and dishonesty. According to Christianity, there is no past for man. The present is only a preparation for the eternities of heaven and hell. Whether they are viewed as places or states, man has, for his future, endless felicity in heaven and endless suffering in hell. Man is therefore not annihilated after death, but his essence goes to eternity. Whoever, as Schopenhauer says, regards himself as having become not of nothing, must also think that he will again become nothing, or that an eternity has passed before he was, and then a second eternity has begun, through which he will never cease to be, is a monstrous thought. The adherents of Hinduism who believe in the past and the present does not state that man is annihilated after death, nor do they say the man is eternalized after death. They believe in an endless series of past and future birth. In their opinion, the life stream of man flows as long as it is propelled by the force of karma, one's action. In due course, the essence of man may be reabsorbed into ultimate reality they call Paramatma, from which his soul emanated. Buddhism believes in the present, with the present as the basis. It argues the past and future. Just as an electric light is the outward manifestation of invisible electric energy, even so, man is merely the outward manifestation of an invisible energy known as karma. The bulb may break and the light may be extinguished, but the current remains and the light may be reproduced in another bulb. In the same way, the karmic force remains undisturbed by the disintegration of the physical body, and the passing away of the present consciousness led to the arising of a fresh one in another birth. Here, the electric current is like the karmic force, and the bulb may be compared to the egg cell provided by the parent. Past karmic condition, past karma condition the present birth, and present karma in combination with past karma condition the future. The present is the offspring of the past and becomes in turn the parent of the future. Death is therefore not the complete annihilation of man, although that particular lifespan ended. The force which either actuated it is not destroyed. After death, the life flux of man continues in infinitum, as long as it is fed with the water of ignorance and craving. In conventional terms, man need not necessarily be born as a man, because humans are not the only living beings. Moreover, Earth, an almost insignificant speck in the universe, is not the only place in which he will seek rebirth. He may be born in other habitable planes as well. If man wishes to put an end to this repeated series of births, he can do so as the Buddha and Arahant has done by realizing Nibbana, the complete cessation of all form of craving. Where does man go? He can go wherever he wills or like, if he is fit for it. If with no particular wish, he leaves his path to be prepared by the cause of event. He will go to the place or state he fully deserves in accordance with his karma. Why is our last question. Why is man? Is there a purpose in life? This is rather a controversial question. What is the materialistic standpoint? Then there's a note that there are about 1 million planetary systems in the Milky Way in which life may exist. Then the nature of the universe, all this is the author's notes. Okay, the scientist's answer we read here. Has life a purpose? What and where or when? Out of space came universe, came sun, came earth, came life, came man, and more must come. But as to purpose, whose and where, why, none. So this is the Buddhist reply. As materialists confine themselves purely to sense data and the present material welfare, ignoring all spiritual value, they hold a view diametrically opposite to that of the moralists. In this opinion, there is no purposer, hence there cannot be a purpose, no this. To which category belong Buddhists as well, do not believe in a creator purpose. Who color wonderfully the peacock, or what makes the cuckoos coo so well? This is one of the chief arguments of the materialists, to attribute everything to the nature order of things. Eat, drink, and be merry, for death comes to all. Closing our life appear to be the ethical ideal of their system. In their opinion, as Sri Radhakrishna writes, virtue is a delusion and enjoyment is the only reality. Death is the end of life. Religion is a foolish aberration, a mental disease. There was a distrust of everything good, high, pure, and compassionate. The theory stands for sensualism and selfishness, and the gross affirmation of the loud will. There is no need to control passion and instinct, since they are nature's legacy to man. So these are the various beliefs. Huh? And Savadasana say, where life is yours, live joyously. None can escape death's searching eye. When once this frame of ours they burn, he shall it e'er again return. While life remain, let a man live happily. Let him feed on ye, even though he runs in debt. Now let us turn towards science to get a solution to the question why. It should be noted that science is a study of things, a study of what is, and that religion is a study of ideals, a study of what should be. Sir J. Arthur Thomson maintains that science is incomplete because it cannot answer the question why. So dealing with cosmic purpose, Bertrand Russell states three kinds of views: deity, pathetic, and emergent. The first, he writes, holds that God created the world and decreed the law of nature because he foresee that in time some good would be evolved. In this view, purpose exists consciously in the mind of the Creator who remains eternally to his creation. Oh, sorry, external to his creation. In the patriotic form, God is not eternal to the universe, but is merely the cosmic or the universe consists of a whole. There cannot therefore be an act of creation, but there is a kind of creative force in the universe, which causes it to develop according to a plan, which this creative force may be said to have in mind throughout the process. Then in the emergent form, the purpose is more blind. At an earlier stage, nothing in the universe foresees a later stage, but a kind of blind impulsion leads to those changes which bring more developed form into existence, so that in some rather obscure sense, the end is implicated in the beginning. We offer no comment. These are merely the views of different religionists and great thinkers. Whether there is a cosmic purpose or a question arises as to the usefulness of the tapeworm, snake, mosquito, and so forth, and for the existence of rabies. How does one account for the problems of evil? Are earthquake, flood, pestilence, and war designed? Okay, I think we better stop here because it's about 10:10 already. Yeah? We stop here. Huh? Okay, page 670. Huh? I think all these points brought up by the religionists and the uh, thinkers or philosophers, they are not so important to us as Buddhists. What is more important is we understand who we are, what we are, and what this universe is all about. Uh, those are more important than the nature's law that governs life and existence. If you understand all this, you understand the secret of life. In fact, the Buddha's Four Noble Truths, they are very beautiful. They explain to us the whole of life, both mundane and supramundane. Of course, science added another dimension to our universe. Scientists can explore many things and come up with many understanding that can actually uh, go very far and very deep into the first two uh, Utu Niyama and Bija Niyama, the scientific law. Is the physical law of nature and the biological order of nature. So these two, they can penetrate until very, very deep. But the Buddha has penetrated the next three spiritual laws, Kama Niyama, Chitta Niyama, and Dhamma Niyama, very, very deeply. And that's how he has the omniscient, all-knowing understanding of what this universe is all about. what the form and mind is all about, what living being is all about, and how through the law of karma and the other laws, physical and spiritual law, how nature comes to be. uh, So all these are very beautifully explained. So to me, those that are described by the author, it may interest some people, but not important to me. These are philosophy uh, or their beliefs, their religious view. Uh, so what Buddhism is more interested is the reality, the truth, the way things are, and we can understand them through direct investigation and direct experience. Uh, the only thing that most Buddhists cannot penetrate now is the consciousness part, the mind. Uh, the Monday mind, maybe you can penetrate later on when you awaken and understand. Uh, but then that consciousness part is not easy unless you take the Bodhisattva way, you go that way. Then that one is a lot more. Uh, very, very interesting. That's why I used to share this with Kayamita. The Bodhisattva way may be very, very long, but it's really rewarding when you understand and when you know how to move that way. Life may not be so real, but there is such thing as existence, as life. When you understand everything clearly, then you know how to come. And because you know how to come, you know how to live. Uh, and because you know how to come and know how to live, you know how to return. Uh, there is no real being behind all these things. But there is such thing as existence or life within the conditioned world. And when you know the secret of life, you know how to come to the conditioned world through a form of mind and through all this bodhisattva and all the things. So it's so beautiful. Creation can be so beautiful. Life can be so meaningful, so beautiful. And you get to experience so much thing with the form and mind. That's why the form and mind is a very beautiful vehicle and you know how to use it. Uh, and you know how to make use of it to come, to live, to inquire, to experience, to explore. That is what my nature realized. So beautiful. That's why you ask me, every life is so beautiful, so meaningful. That's why I spoke on that talk. Understanding life, its meaning and purpose. I explained it very clearly. It's so beautiful. That's why the author cannot understand the purpose and meaning and what is life, understanding life. They can't, where they don't have the penetrative understanding of the Buddha Dharma. Without that, not easy. Okay, with that, I think I better end. It's almost 10:18 already. Yeah. Okay, so we will end. Oh, Jiwei is there. Huh? Jiwei, you want to say something? Yeah, all the way from Perth. Huh?
To unmute.
Unmute. Jiwei first. Yeah.
But I couldn't
Ah,
hear you
finish.
so well when you are reading. You had a
Oh,
tech.
Sadhu. Sadhu.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can hear very clearly over your side.
Yes. When you
Yeah.
talk, when you
Yeah.
explain, it was good. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
clear.
Just took on the heart.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. When I explain, it
Sadhu,
takes.
sadhu, Brother
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. Sadhu. I rejoice too. Yeah. Cheers. Nice to
Yeah.
see you again.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Sadhu. Sadhu. We all rejoice. So the Zoom session actually help. Now you don't have to travel all the way here to participate and Sadhu. So how is everything over that side?
It's getting locked down more and more.
More and more. We are experiencing the same thing. Now is the
Yes.
second 14 days. We are going into our second 14 days. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
But Australia, I think, is still not too bad. Not as bad as US. US is really, really bad now. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Do
Maybe
you
the
have,
worst is yet to
yeah,
come.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions, Yue?
No, thank you.
Oh,
It's
sadhu,
clear.
sadhu. Yeah, very clear. Huh? Sadhu,
Yeah,
sadhu.
very clear. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we see any other Kayamita has any question. Anybody has any question? Can wait, huh? Or any sharing or feedback? Huh? Anybody? Huh? Nobody. Uh, if nobody or no question, then oh, you haven't unmute one.
No.
Oh, you unmute.
Unmute
Unmute everyone. Okay, we unmute everyone. So anybody got any question, you can just speak it up. Anybody? Oh, don't have, huh? Okay, then never mind. I think we better end. Huh? Okay, we end. Huh? We will mute everyone. Then we will do the sharing of merits, the transfer of merits. Then we end. Huh? Okay, let us recall to mind all the wholesomeness that we have developed over the past 1 hour. We shall now share and transfer these merits. Akasata Chil Bhumata Deva Naga Mahindika Punyang Tang Anumoditwa Chirang Rakantu Lokasasana Etawata Cha Amehi Sampadan Punya Sampadan Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Devo satakalena sasa sampati hetu cha Pito bhavatu loko cha Raja bhavatu dhammiko Imina punyang kamina Mami bala samagamo Satang samagamo kotu Yawa nivana patiya Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, stay safe, huh? And may the blessing of the Triple Gem be with you all and your loved ones. Huh? May you all be well and happy always. Huh? Take care of your health. Huh? Avoid the condition. Sadhu, sadhu. Maybe we'll off the recording, then we can open up.